Hey there, hi there, ho there. Welcome to everybody out there in podcast land. It is time for your favorite politically incorrect sports commentary podcast.
That's right. That's Sports Frenzy 2.0, the sports edition.
With the conquistador Dave Height.
The maestro Kevin Crane.
And of course, the implications, the illusions that Dave just put out there. Do not forget to check out the ever popular Saturday morning hangover cure, the weekend edition.
Your politically incorrect pop culture commentary.
This week, and we will have Sebastian Bach. We will have more talk about the Dead Boy Detectives and
the Iron Claw.
So you do not want to miss the weekend edition. Now, we get to take a little bit of a break from picking NASCAR races. So the 8 panelists, our expert panel, they go, oh, thank God, because we all hate NASCAR. Dave and I are the only 2 that really like NASCAR. Maybe Sam, maybe Jen. That's it.
The others, forget it.
Doug is the one who wants to put horse racing and squash.
Pickleball.
Yeah. So they get a week off because, of course, this upcoming weekend, one of your favorite tracks.
Yes, the revitalized North Wilkesboro Speedway.
So every year without fail, this man to my right, my brother from another mother, does his homework and he lets you know what the rules are for the All-Star race. So I concede the podium to the conquistador.
All right, kids. Once again, NASCAR has really thrown a monkey wrench into everything that happens All-Star race weekend. They just can't leave well enough alone. Thanks, Dale Jr. Anyway, tire strategy is going to be huge this weekend at North Wilkesboro. 3 types of tires are going to be available. They're going to have the Prime, which are your regular racing tire. They're going to have yellow letters. They're coming up with an option tire, which is going to be red letters on there. It's going to be a racing slick made with the weather tire rubber. So it's going to be a softer compound with more grip. And then, of course, they're going to have the weather tire, which is going to have white letters. So if it's raining, that can only be used if the track is wet for the weather tires. So all weekend, there will be 9 sets of tires available. Practice qualifying heat and the open, they'll have 3 sets of prime tires and 2 sets of each of the other options. The All-Star race, they will have 2 sets of tires for each option.
Ooh, that doesn't sound like much.
No. So, and all 4 tires must be the same type. So if you put on the primes, you got to have the primes on all 4. You can't mix and match. Right. So, but it all kicks off with qualifying Friday night, where they'll use the prime tires only. They're going to run 1 lap at speed. On the second lap, they have to enter the designated pit box for a 4-tire stop and a mock fuel. And then race back to the checkered flag. Fastest total time will win the pole for the first heat and locked in for the All-Star race itself. The fastest pit stop will win the pit crew challenge. And the order of the pit crew challenge finish determines pit box selection, not qualifying.
I like that. I do like that.
Yeah, something a little different. Yeah. So it knocks out 2 things at once. They always have the pit crew competition that weekend. Yep. Here, it's under intense conditions where you're trying to get the fastest time for the pole.
Right.
So, Saturday night, they're going to run 2 60-lap heat races to determine the lineup for drivers already locked into the All-Star race. So, they can start with any tire option they want. Heat 1 will determine the inside line. Heat 2, the outside line. There will be a mandatory caution on lap 30 where a 4-tire stop is required. Then, for the All-Star Open, 100 laps, there'll be a caution at lap 50 requiring a 4-tire stop. They can start with any tire option, and the top 2 finishers and 1 fan vote will transfer to the All-Star race. So for the All-Star race, 200 laps. There's going to be a caution at lap 100 where a 4-tire stop's required, any tire type, and they're going to have one at 150. So two mandatory cautions there. They start on the option tire. So they're kind of requiring that piece, and all laps will count, overtime rules in effect. And you're locked in drivers for the All-Star race. Allmendinger, Bell, Blaney, Buscher, Busch, Byron, Chastain, Elliott, Hamlin, Keselowski, Larson, Logano, McDowell, Reddick, Stenhouse, Suarez, Truex, and Van Gisbergen. So there you go, kids.
We need to give acclaim, applause, acclaim, accolades to this man for setting you up for your All-Star race weekend. Now you should know anything and everything you need to know about the All-Star race at North Wilkesboro. I'm impressed. I am just impressed beyond belief, as I am every year when you put in that work.
Succinctly putting it all together in a coherent way.
But we're not even close to being done, even though we don't have picks this week.
No, we have the
NASCAR.
Darlington recap.
Yeah, I don't want to talk about it. You tell the people. I was so disgusted, so disgusted with Tyler Reddick.
What the hell was he doing?
Couldn't take a top 2, a top 3 finish.
He had to get into the side of Chris Buescher, causing them both to lose out on the opportunity for a win, handing it to Brad Keselowski, ending his 110 race winless streak.
In and of itself, I'm fine with that.
But that's 2 weeks in a row now that Buescher has been screwed.
Yeah. Now, I will say this, and I've seen a lot of people online say this, and maybe finally the tide is turning and we're seeing the snowflakes going away, because people are finally saying, hey, Tyler Reddick, how about you show a little spine instead of going, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Chris. I didn't mean to hit you. Please forgive me. Please forgive me. Say, hey, I was trying to win the goddamn race. I'm sorry, but the fuck with everything. I was trying to win the race. Don't go, oh my God. And of course, Buescher is like baby. 8 inches taller than him.
Yeah, I would have pounded him into oblivion. But I like that Buescher confronted him. 2 weeks in a row is ridiculous to be in that spot.
He's got to be frustrated beyond belief. Got to be frustrated. And it wasn't like it was 2 weeks in a row with Reddick, but it's just 2 weeks in a row. The NASCAR gods just did not give him a break.
No, not at all.
Oh, but we got plenty more to go, kids. We're not even close to being done with NASCAR. Because, of course, the world of sports went crazy this week because it was the upfronts in TV and media. So that meant everybody's buying everything and all the sports are shifting and changing. And we'll get into that with the NFL, which is just pathetic. But Amazon, of course, now a big player, and TNT as well, made their voices known. And of course, NASCAR and those little bitches, yes, sir, whatever you want, sir. Just
please, sir, can I have some more?
So, Amazon's prime coverage of the Cup Series, we knew this was coming. We knew this was coming, so this is not a surprise. But I'm just a little disheartened that one of the premier races of the year, the Coca-Cola 600, next year is going to lead off Amazon's coverage. There's just something wrong with that. That the Coke 600 is going to be on Amazon.
You cannot do that on Memorial Day weekend. You cannot put the second of the races on a streaming platform. That's
Everybody's
inexcusable.
out in their backyard. They're trying to grill out, trying to have a picnic, trying
but
to have
you
fun.
want to watch the Indy 500 and then you want to watch the Coca-Cola 600. You want to enjoy the race day that is Sunday of Memorial Day weekend, and now you're fucking everybody over.
Yeah, now where's my Fire Stick? Can the TV out here get Amazon Prime?
Oh, it's stupid.
Dave, we have got a lot to talk about this week when it comes to this.
Oh, it just keeps getting worse.
These companies, these channels, these sports are trying to literally self-destruct.
Yeah, they're trying to
and this is step one.
They're trying to screw the fans over.
This is step one.
Yep.
This is step one.
Greed is not good.
Step two. After Amazon's coverage, then TNT has bullied NASCAR into,
we got to do what the NBA does. We need an in-season tournament. Ooh.
Yeah, we have the NBA, so we're going to make you do the same goddamn thing.
No.
And I can't believe this isn't getting more coverage than what it is.
Oh, it's just a blip on the radar. Nobody's talking about this shit. This has got to be the dumbest idea for an in-season tournament.
Will take place this coming season 2025 on TNT, of course, only. They will cover the 5 races for this in-season tournament. Seeding will somehow take place during the Amazon portion.
Whatever.
But of course, they've got a bracket set up, a 5-race tournament. All 5 races, of course, covered by TNT in the regular season, races 18 through 22. And the lucky driver will win $1 million if they can advance all the way through the bracket. Who gives a rat's fuck?
Nobody. It's dumb. Are you honestly going to say, oh, gee, Denny Hamlin has to finish ahead of Austin Dillon?
Yeah, whoever.
Bubba Wallace has to finish better than Nemechek.
Yeah.
To advance to the next.
Yeah, because the initial bracket is going to be 32 teams, 32 drivers. So it's going to be basically
drivers
everybody with a charter.
Basically, not only running for the checkered flag, but they're trying to finish ahead of who they're paired up against.
And what's to stop a teammate from wrecking out somebody so their teammate
can advance?
Yeah.
This has just got disaster written all over it.
And this is, again, this is going to be our theme throughout this entire episode. Why can't you figure out how to run your business, run your sport, without us having to do it for you? Because you're fucking it up! This is an idiotic idea. I mean, beyond idiotic.
Nobody cares!
And not on top of the fact you're fractioning off your audience. Now you've got 4 different TV partners.
Yeah,
TV and streaming partners. And the NFL's getting just as bad, if not worse.
And we'll get to that because that's a major fuck up on their part.
And Dave and I are pretty smart. Dave and I know where to go, where to look for stuff. But you really expect all these people to go week in and week out. Where's the NFL game this week? Where's the NASCAR race this week? Whoa, I got enough! Enough! Stop it! Stop making us jump around all over the place.
Yeah, don't put us. Oh, are we on Fox or are we on FX1? Are we on
and that's
NBC
the same company
or Peacock or USA?
And those are the same companies. But they shift and change within the same company, let alone what they're doing now.
Yeah, it's stupid.
They are going to destroy. They're going to go, well, it's your fault because you're not watching. It's your fault because you're not tuning in.
We're not watching because we're not going to pay the extra frickin' prices for everything,
and we're not
idiots.
going to sit there and waste our time week after week trying to figure out where the games are or where the races are. Again, can you really figure out a business model that makes sense? That is loyal and true to your customers without making a shift around and move and change every 5 minutes. No, you can't, because it's all about stupidity and greed. This will be the death knell for NASCAR. I told you and Jamie this. I said, this is it. They jumped the shark with this. This is it. They're done. Yeah. They're done.
This is the
WNBA will pass them in popularity right now because of this kind of idiocy. I predict that 100%. If I could bet on it, I would today.
You heard it here first, kids.
And that's not even the end of it. That's not even close to being the end of it. Because one of the all-time greatest shows that kept NASCAR fans involved and informed is going away. NASCAR Race Hub is ending on June the 11th after 15 years. Started off on Speed, ended up on FS1. The great, the glorious, the beautiful Shannon Spake. Where is she going to go? My bedroom? No, but I digress.
But bump. No, everything is just screwed up.
What the hell does FS1 have to substitute for Race Hub? Seriously. Doug Gottlieb's going away. He's going to go coach Green Bay, Wisconsin.
They have no clue what they're doing right now.
I'm telling you.
Well, what was it after the race? We went back to the professional bowling again.
It's going to be
that
bowling,
really where you want to go?
Bowling, pickleball, and lacrosse is where we're headed. Bowling, pickleball, and lacrosse is where we're headed.
And wait for winter when we can get curling.
Oh my God! Shave the ice, shave the ice, shave the ice, shave the ice. Yeah, great.
Brush, left, right. Whatever the hell that means.
But we're not even done yet with the NASCAR stupidity.
There's more.
Phoenix, number one, not a popular pick, will keep the championship, it looks like, in 2025.
Bounce it around.
Now, officially, the schedule has not been announced yet, but I figure if they know that Amazon's going to start with the Coke 600, they must have a pretty goddamn good idea what the schedule's going to be.
Yeah.
And then Mexico City, most likely, will replace the spring Richmond race. And now we're going south of the border.
For a road course, right?
Well, you know who can't go south of the border? Kyle Busch.
That's right. He's got a warrant. So way to go, NASCAR.
One of your most popular drivers, two-time champion, might not be able to compete next year in Mexico City because he has a gun charge hanging over his head.
Pending legal action.
From back in January of 2023. Again, geniuses, absolute geniuses running all these sports leagues. Geniuses. Now, something you might enjoy. Another announcement with these upfronts. Again, a lot of sports taking over. Because that's where these channels, these streaming services are making all their money. Amazon Prime has announced that as they're taking over a portion of the schedule for the Cup Series, they will have a 4-part documentary in 2025 about the Dale Earnhardt family. So
Could
something
be interesting.
something you might want to watch.
Perhaps.
Of course, if you have not heard, Teresa Earnhardt renewed her trademark on the 1, but not the 8. DEI has the trademarks for the 1 and the 8, not the right to run those numbers.
No, the trademark on the numbers.
Yeah, so she can sell Steve Park number 1 memorabilia and shirts. And now they're wondering, well, if she doesn't renew the 8, does that mean she's made peace with Dale Jr.?
Who knows?
Because as we know, Ross Chastain runs the 1 in the Cup Series. It's just a mess. Just a mess.
Yeah.
We've been wondering, and it's getting late in the game here. Again, the NASCAR schedule is supposed to be announced soon. We don't want the clash at the LA Coliseum.
No.
Now, what I'm hearing is...
Wasn't it supposed to be Dodger Stadium?
No, they've gotten away from that.
Oh, thank God.
Yes, they have gotten away from that. Now we're hearing the latest rumors are the Busch Clash could be at Bowman Gray Stadium in Winston-Salem, North Carolina. Yes.
Oh,
yes.
That I like. It's getting back to the roots of NASCAR.
Yes.
They raced there all the time back in the early days.
Yep. Football stadium / racetrack.
Yeah. Bowman Gray was known for football and racing.
Yep.
I like it.
Hopefully
I like it a lot.
Hopefully that comes to fruition. Now, the only thing I would worry about is that it's a little bit north in February. Weather could be dicey. Weather could be dicey. But we shall see. But I do like that a lot more than Dodger Stadium, the LA Coliseum.
Hell yeah. Something that actually has a tradition.
All right, Dave. If I were to ask you, just you, not you, you're the focus. You're the man right now. Your top 5 NASCAR tracks, Cup Series. What are they?
Current or all-time overall?
Current.
You son of a...
I'm just trying to make this work for what I've got here.
Daytona.
Okay.
Dega.
Okay. I'm liking so far.
Richmond.
I'm liking so far. Still good. 2 more.
Martinsville.
Okay. 4. And even if you don't get them in order, that's fine.
Yeah.
Just give me your top 5. No particular order. Are you really going to denigrate Bristol this much?
I was going to say Bristol before they fucked it up.
Okay.
Because Bristol is there, but that's why I'm hesitant, because the racing is not as good as it was before they screwed up with the progressive banking, and then they tried to go back and they still didn't get it right. So I have my issues, but there you go.
You go Bristol?
Yeah, I'm going to go Bristol.
5. Well, that's the one you agree with. USA Today. USA Today did a reader's poll.
Oh, we like Kansas.
No, not even close. USA Today did a poll recently for the best NASCAR tracks. Now, this was their travel section. I don't know why you would even put NASCAR tracks in your travel section, but... And we all know how accurate and how much we would trust USA Today for anything. You want to hear the top 5? You got number 5. I had to goad you into getting number 5 right. Bristol was 5th.
Loud.
You got no other track right.
New Hampshire.
In no other. Nope, not even close.
Phoenix.
Nope, not even close. Literally, they picked the 4 worst tracks at the top 4.
Oh, for God's sake.
Number 1 of USA Today's best NASCAR tracks, Pocono. Number 2.
What?
Number 2. You'll love number 2. The Chicago Street Course.
Oh, for crying out loud.
Number 3. Sonoma.
What the fuck?
And number 4, before Bristol at 5th. And again, I had to kind of push you in that direction. Number 4, Michigan International Speedway.
Oh, God.
Isn't that the worst? Outside of Bristol, the worst 4 you could ever... Those would be my bottom 4.
Oh, my God.
Those would probably be my bottom 4.
They're in the bottom part. My least... You know how I feel about New Hampshire Motor Speedway.
Yeah.
Nuke it off the face of the planet. My bottom is New Hampshire, followed by Kansas, followed by the current Atlanta, because I love the old layout.
But Kansas, this last race was great.
That's the first one that they've had that was any good.
Okay. I just thought you'd love that list.
Jesus. Texas Motor Speedway's there because it's a fucking cookie cutter.
Yep. All right, so of course, to wrap up racing, we've got to talk about the impending Indy 500 that we are going to be at.
Woohoo!
So, of course, we know Kyle Larson is going to run the double.
Yep.
Not having a lot of luck here. First practice washed out. But I don't know if you kids knew this, but his driver in reserve, in case he has to ditch it, he says Coca-Cola 600 is top priority.
It has to be because he's running for a championship.
Yeah, so he will leave Indy early if he has to. Tony Kanaan will be his reserve driver.
Very cool.
Yep. And even though it's not technically running the double,
Mr.
Yes. Jimmy Johnson,
he's going to be calling the Indy 500 before he has to get on the helicopter and fly down to start and drive in the 600.
You think they'll fly together?
Probably not.
Give each other hand jobs.
Although they are, with the Hendrick connection, it's possible. It's possible.
Yeah.
Did I say Hendrick or Handrick?
Yeah, I was going to say Mile High Club. Mile High Club.
Yeah.
Kyle, you look a little tense, buddy. Let me help you out here. They don't call me Jimmy Johnson for nothing.
Whoa.
I know how to work a Johnson. All right. So we spent a lot of time on NASCAR. We got plenty more to go, including, of course, how awful baseball is. We're going to lead into that now. All right, so now we move on from the idiocy of NASCAR to the idiocy of Major League Baseball. Because NASCAR, of course, trying to force themselves into a death spiral that baseball is already in. And I know last week, I'm not going to do it again. I'm not going to go off on the Cubs because I know there are at least half the league, half the teams that aren't hitting because of analytics. Strikeout, home run. Strikeout, home run. It is going to destroy baseball.
And today, coming home from work, listening to the score, they had one of these analytic geeks creaming his shorts talking about, oh no, everybody has access to the new metrics that you can see what the hitters are doing with bat speed and bat velocity and their long
It doesn't
swing,
matter
swing.
When most of your hitters, most of your star players are 700 or under with OPS. It doesn't matter.
No.
It's making
You're getting too far into the weeds with this bullshit. You're negatively impacting your hitters. You're telling guys, swing for the fences, it's okay. No, you need contact.
And again, just like NASCAR, baseball, the same thing. Trying to destroy itself. The snake eating its own tail. Thank God for one thing, even though We railed about NASCAR here 10 minutes ago, was splitting up all of their coverage. Baseball already went down that rabbit hole. They've already done it. We can't get it back. But at least now free TV, at least to a point, comes into play, as what we had the last 2 years on Peacock, the early Sunday window game, will now be free. Roku jumps in and gets a multi-year deal. And you can download the app for free, and you can watch these games for free. So at least for once, they did something right. Still,
well, they
I don't
have
like
to make up for the stupid Diamond Sport fiasco.
And I still don't like the fact they're fractured. Everything's fractured. Everything's splitting off. Now you got to figure out.
Oh,
Roku? What? Do I get that app? Do I have a Roku stick? What do I have? See, that's the part I don't like.
Yeah. What do you need? Oh, do I need a Fire Stick for Amazon? Do I need a Roku device, or do they have the app? Now I have to pay for Apple TV to get my team on a Friday night. It's bullshit.
Yeah, not to mention Amazon sometime during the week.
Maybe
you get a game. Again, Dave and I and most of you know how this works, but it's still too much work, and you are really destroying the older fan base. And I don't care what anybody thinks, the older baseball fan base is key to keeping this game alive.
Yeah, because the younger generation, sorry, they're not watching.
Yeah, they're watching soccer. Soccer. Oh, I got kicked in the shin. I'm out for 20 minutes. Yeah, that. Soccer.
Oh, you slid into me. I'm going to roll around like you broke my leg until I get the card, and then I'm going to get up and walk away casually.
So Roku in a multi-year deal gets 18 early Sunday games starting this coming Sunday, May the 19th, carrying on through the rest of the year. Now, money, if you care about the money, I don't. You're dealing with millionaires, dealing with billionaires, I don't care. But they're saying that this is well below what Peacock paid. It sounds like Peacock really got screwed. Because for 2 years, the last 2 years, they were paying $30 million a year for those Sunday games.
Yeah, they outbid themselves. NBC is stupid when it comes to sports. We've seen that time and again. They can't figure their shit out.
Yep. So let's get back to the game itself, baseball. Some fun stuff. Let's just cover some fun stuff before we get to our teams, which of course is, in your case, might be more fun than mine right now.
Yeah, I know. The shitty White Sox are 11-8 over their last 19 games.
And the Cubs have been shut out 2 games in a row. Now they're winning today. So they've actually been able to score runs today.
Yep. But in those 8 losses, the Sox got shut out again. 10 is the number so far.
A Mariners fan. What are the odds of this, Dave? A Mariners fan catches a foul ball on consecutive at-bats.
That's insane.
This past Monday, May the 13th.
That is crazy.
I can't see what the odds are on that. That is ridiculous. We've got another pitcher who has been caught with the sticky stuff.
Oh.
Astros starting pitcher Ronel Blanco, who threw a no-hitter earlier this year. And we all know the Astros would never cheat.
Did he not get checked?
The Astros would never cheat, Dave.
Wait.
Oh, is that my cue to do something?
Yeah, there's a fastball coming.
And so today he gets a 10-game suspension.
The umpire says it's the stickiest stuff I've ever seen.
That's what she said.
But
of course, Hollywood cannot let a good scandal slide by. So Lionsgate TV has already got the rights to set up a TV series based on the Shohei Ohtani gambling scandal.
yeah, guess what? It's going to tank.
What? Yeah. What's
Who
the drama there?
cares? We all
What's the
know what
drama there?
happened. There's nothing. Unless you're going to drop the bombshell revelation that it was actually Ohtani himself who was placing all the bets, as we've speculated here.
Now, as you said, the White Sox playing very well lately.
Surprisingly.
14-30. As we tape, 13 and a half games behind the Cleveland Guardians.
Yep, and as well as they've been playing, the Marlins and the Rockies and the Angels are playing right about the same.
I think the Marlins right now are the worst, even though they just beat the Tigers 2 out of 3, which screwed
they're
you.
At 13. Yeah.
Yeah, which screwed you.
Yeah, of course it did, bastards.
But who am I to talk, because my idiot Cubs, as I mentioned, shut out 2 nights in a row, Monday and Tuesday night against Atlanta. Those idiots can't fucking hit to save their lives. Even though almost everybody got back off the injured list. Oh, but Dansby Swanson's injured now. But Bellinger back, Steele back, Hendricks back, Suzuki back, and they suck. How is this team 24-19? I don't know. I really honestly don't know. This is the most offensive, disgusting 24-19 Cubs team. I hate them. I hate them, Dave. I hate them.
Well, welcome to my world of hating your team.
How am I supposed to root for this team?
But
These idiots can't hit.
You've actually got key players.
I can't take it, though. They can't score. They can't hit.
It's the analytic geeks.
Again, no hitter above 300. No hitter above 300. And I would also like to tell Scott Boras, once again, fuck off and die. Every player that you held back, all 5 of them.
They suck.
Bellinger, Jordan Montgomery, Blake Snell, J.D. Martinez, Matt Chapman, all suck ass. Because you wouldn't let them go to spring training. Because you're a greedy fuck. And now you've destroyed their chances to make tons of money in the future. Are you happy? Are you happy, Scott? Are you going to make a little limerick about this? Sorry, I can't stand Scott Boras, kids. I just can't.
Yeah, he's an asshole.
Not just because of Bellinger with the Cubs, but again, look at the other players that I mentioned.
A jerk.
And he destroyed all. This is why Jordan Montgomery told him, the minute he signed the contract, I'm done with you. I am done with you.
You ruined my
season. And the other
season.
4 should be well
on their way.
lured to move on as well.
Yeah, after the last couple seasons, he has done none of them any favors. I had a new segment for us on the baseball, tracking how many hitters in all of MLB are hitting 300 or above.
Yeah, we started that last week. You did that last week, yeah.
Yep, this week there are 18.
And I guarantee by the end of the season, that'll be single digits.
More than likely.
Yep, and I love that. And I think the Conquistador is on to something here, because we're trying to prove the analytics geeks, Scott Boras, how you have done a disservice to the game of baseball. Because the Cubs had a great game versus Pittsburgh back on May the 11th, Dave. You know why?
Do tell.
Well, they scored 6 runs in the 5th inning against Pittsburgh on May the 11th, all on bases loaded walks.
That's freaking pathetic.
Yeah,
that if you cannot get a base hit A simple base hit.
Now they're saying that the Pittsburgh pitchers that came in were just abysmal. It wasn't even close. It wasn't like the Cubs were getting borderline calls.
No, there was nothing to swing at. I
Right.
saw the replays on those. It was bad.
Yep. But again, you've got a game where you need to hit the ball, pitch the ball, and it seems like they can't hit the ball and they can't pitch the ball.
And some of them can't even catch the ball. As the Big Blue W says, you hit the ball, you throw the ball, you catch the ball. It's that simple. Take the damn analytics out of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the problem we're having with this, is that the numbers geeks, again, are going to destroy all these sports.
You got to load manage. Oh, you can't have your pitcher go through a lineup 3 times.
Now, I have not updated this number since last week, but the Orioles have a very impressive streak going where they have not been swept, and that includes 2-game series.
Yes. They kept that streak alive today.
Okay. So as of last week, it was 103, so it's probably 105 right now, I would say.
Yeah. Hang on,
Now is that really a legitimate, impressive streak? The last time the Orioles were swept was, now here's the thing, that's regular season.
Right.
Because last year they were swept in the 2023 American League Divisional Series by the Rangers. But if you want to say it's a streak of the regular season, they've got it still going on. It is the 3rd longest ever in American League history.
Well, now the stupid ESPN is not working.
That's a shocker.
Come on, give me my... Hey, there we go. Yep, streak of no sweeps. Oh, come on.
Technology is awesome, kids.
No, I did not click on that stupid article.
Now,
yeah, internet is running funky, kids.
Now, moving on to one little specific nugget in NCAA football. With all of these streaming services and everybody jumping in and trying to take over, there is that little David trying to fight Goliath. That is the CW. And the CW has announced that they have got the rights to 11, quote unquote, Pac-12 games.
Pac-2 games?
For the 2024 season. Yes, to me, that's more about the Mountain West.
Yes.
Because we all know that Oregon State, Washington State, the last 2 remaining members of the Pac-12 they'll be playing a majority of their games within the Mountain West.
Right.
So the CW's trying. They are trying.
They're doing what they can.
Yep. And of course, tonight, as we tape, the schedule has been released. We'll go through it in detail next week, but we do know
105 consecutive regular series of at least 2 decisions with no ties without being swept.
See, I got it. Yep.
So there we go.
Do you feel like that's fraudulent, or is that a true, real, impressive streak? I think it's pretty impressive.
It's pretty damn impressive, because how many teams get swept in a series on a consistent basis? If you're going to include
2-game series, that's impressive.
Yeah.
Now, if you were going 3 or 4...
not so much.
Right. As I mentioned, the NFL schedule out tonight. We know that the Ravens at the Chiefs will be the opening game.
I know, was it week 6, Bears, Jaguars in London?
Yep, we got Dallas, the Cowboys at the Browns. That will be Tom Brady's TV debut. He'll probably apologize. I
I'm
don't want to
so
say
sorry
anything. I don't want to say anything that's going to offend my children. Everything I do is I got to make sure my children are okay.
My children are snowflakes and need to be in a safe space.
If you haven't heard, Tom Brady's getting all mushy and apologetic about the roast on Netflix. I would never have done it if I'd known it was going to be this effect. This effect would be happening to my kids. I can't do it. I shouldn't have done it.
Oh, shut
up!
Have your kids grow a spine.
For the love of God. And everybody says, did you not know what a roast meant? Did you not understand the concept of a roast?
Did you not think Gisele's relationship with her jiu-jitsu instructor wasn't going to be an issue? Come on! Come on, Tom, are you that fucking naive? Are you the only person in this country who didn't know what was going to happen?
And then, of course, we have the New York Giants will be on Hard Knocks, the preseason version, now that we have a in-season version as well. And then Dave gets to have fun because the Christmas Day games, which we're all for.
We love Christmas Day.
We don't want to watch basketball. We don't want to watch the NBA. And for years and years and years, we have had to subject ourselves to these stupid, idiotic, mid-season NBA games on Christmas Day. Not one, not two, not three, not four, but five games.
Bullshit games.
And finally, Roger Goodell said, we're the big bully. We're the tough guy. Why don't we muscle in on Christmas Day? Thank God.
Holly friggin' Luya.
But
your third biggest NFL watching day is marred now because both games are going to be on frickin' Netflix. Again, you have to subscribe to a streaming service to enjoy NFL games. It should be on regular network television.
Yeah, this is garbage. And I don't know, maybe this is a way that they're kind of making a peace accord with the NBA and saying that we want our games on Christmas. We know we can get big ratings, but we'll put them on stream. I don't know.
It's still bullshit. 2026 Super Bowl is going to be on a streaming service. That's my prediction.
I can't say I disagree. So, Netflix is screwing everything up. Amazon Prime's screwing everything up.
But you know what's not screwing anything up? Us on Spotify, Pocket Cast, Apple, Overcast, Castbox, Amazon, Audible, and iHeart Sports Frenzy, baby.
Otherwise known as, of course, iHeartRadio. Do not forget to check out the Facebook page each and every week for our baseball picks, our NASCAR picks, despite the fact we have an off week with the All-Star race. And then when we get the football season, each and every week.
Mass chaos.
Yeah, football. Yeah. Welcome to my world in the fall. I got to deal with baseball picks, football picks, NASCAR picks, fantasy football, cats and dogs living together.
You love it and you know it. When everybody gets them in on time.
The things I don't do for my friends. I'm just saying. You kids out there know it as well as I.
You wouldn't know what to do with yourself without this.
Do I have a right hand and Vaseline? What? What? I'm sorry?
What, you're buying more pineapple shirts?
Yeah, of course, if you didn't hear that on the weekend edition last week, go back and listen to that. the legendary pineapple shirt story. I have never seen this man rarely laughs, and he has laughed harder every time the story comes up. 10 years from now, kids, I will tell the story, and he will turn red, laughing his ass off over this story. So you need to go back and listen to last week.
It's the whole being my brother from another mother. His whole attitude and frame of mind with everything that happened, it's a hysterical situation.
It ties into a concert review from last week. So just listen to last weekend's weekend edition. All right, some other NFL news as we move on. Couple more wide receiver signings. The Arizona Cardinals. I am liking the Cardinals. I'm telling you,
they're
offensively,
subtly putting it together offensively.
Offensively, not sure. Even though they've got a defensive coach, I like the offense they've got going on now. They signed Zay Jones away from the Jaguars. So now they've got Marvin Harrison Jr. And Trey McBride looked really good at tight end at the end of last year.
They're a quarterback away offensively.
I will tell you one thing.
If they don't do it with Kyler Murray now, he's done.
Yeah, and I will tell you, fantasy football, one thing now, I don't normally like to give out my little secrets and hints, but I made a huge mistake last year. Huge mistake. Even though I somehow made the Final Four in the playoffs, I will never, ever, ever draft a quarterback high up again. I don't care if it's Travis Kelce. So you can strategize against me the way you want, but I will not make that mistake again. I will wait until I get the 5th or 6th best tight end. Travis Kelce sucked balls for me last year while he was sucking on other things with Taylor Swift.
Well, his balls were getting sucked.
Yeah. Never again will I do that. Never again. I drafted him in the 2nd round last year thinking it's like drafting a great catcher in fantasy baseball because that's a weak position, and you think if you get the best, you're head and tails above everybody else. No,
not always. Not always.
So you can have Travis Kelce next year.
Why would I want him?
I don't know. You're a big Tay-Tay fan.
What the hell are you talking about?
Now, of course, Mrs. C is a big fan of the Bills.
Yes.
And we all know they had to cut bait on almost all their skill position players because they had a lot of serious cap issues. They bring in Marquez Valdez-Scantling on a 1-year, $4.5 million deal.
That is a nice budget pickup who could really pan out for them.
But my question is, will Josh Allen be able to take advantage? I think this is a make or break year for him.
It's a make or break year for the Bills, period.
And Sean McDermott, yes. I am not a fan of him. I like Josh Allen. I do not like Sean McDermott.
McDermott has not taken full advantage of that team over the last 3 years.
No, he is not. The window is closing.
Everything was in place for them to win it, and he did everything to screw it up.
Yep. And I think that window, if it's not closed, is very close to being
almost
shut tight. But the Detroit Lions think that window is wide open. The window of opportunity for the Motor City.
Good God, why do you give Jared Goff that much damn money guaranteed?
He is now the 2nd highest paid quarterback in the NFL.
Why?
Jared Goff gets a 4-year, $212 million deal with 170, as you mentioned, lots of guaranteed money.
For what reason?
That's $53 million a year, kids. Only Joe Burrow making more money per year.
And he's looking to be quite possibly the third best quarterback in the NFL North.
Yes. Yes. And again, this is why the Bears did what they did. They tried Justin Fields. It didn't seem like it was working out to the hopes, the levels that they thought, because you have to think about the budget. You have to think about the salary cap.
You got to look ahead, and you cannot invest that kind of money if there are question marks.
Right now, you have Caleb Williams, the number one pick in the draft for 4 years at a reasonable rate. You can build the defense up. You can build the offense up around him.
And
for
they
4
have
years.
done that. They have done that.
But you can still play around for the next 3-4 years.
You can.
Keenan Allen only on a 1-year deal.
Maybe you can get him on another 1-year deal.
But that's the thing. You have budget room to spare now.
You do.
And a lot of these teams now, the Lions, after this year, because this last year will be on the old deal. So they have a little, but they also re-signed Amon-Ra St. Brown and Penny Sewell. So they committed a lot of money.
You're going to have to pay Aiden Hutchinson here coming up.
Yes. Yep. Very good call, Dave. About 2 years from now, you're going to have to pay him. So they are going to have to commit a ton of money to 4 players.
Yeah.
And that is going to restrict what they can.
I don't know that Goff is not worth that kind of guaranteed money.
My brother, you're talking my language. You are talking my language. Now, there are quarterbacks out there who have not performed all. I still like Justin Herbert, and I would have re-signed him. And I know he got a shit ton of money, but now he's got a coach.
Yeah, somebody who knows what the hell they're doing.
Give him 2 years. 2 more years. I want to see. He'll only be 28 years old. 2 years down the road. Let's see what Jim Harbaugh. This is not Josh Allen again. Has not had the best coach in the world.
No, he's hamstrung there.
There are some situations where Kyler Murray, as much as I think he could be a sleeper this year and that team could be much better, they've overpaid for him.
Oh, big time. He was not worth that money that they gave him.
But these teams get locked in and say, what else are we going to do? The Bears had the luck and were smart enough to say, we have that number 1 pick. We can upgrade at quarterback.
That trade with Carolina is the gift that has kept on giving.
Yep.
And it gave the Bears the flexibility to be able to do that. Fields had a lot of talent. He could not read a defense. He could not make the quick decision to get rid of the ball to a guy who was about to be open. He did not trust himself to make that throw.
And you can blame the coaching staff to a certain extent. But you can only wait so long.
Right.
And we've seen teams give some of these top drafted quarterbacks a much shorter leash than what the Bears gave Justin Fields.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. And you can look at Fields at Ohio State behind that line. They gave him all damn day. And you've seen USC had a crap offensive line. And Caleb Williams still was able to do things with that.
Yeah, and again, I will say, if the Bears fuck this up, I'm done. I'm not saying I'm not going to root for them anymore, but I don't see how it works after this. If you get the number 1 top quarterback prospect falling in your lap,
you destroy him, that's you as an organization
and
screwing up yet again.
That is what I'm worried about, is the organization destroying another young quarterback. And I'm still not sold on Eberflus. I'm not.
No, but not again, as a head coach.
As you and I have talked about, if he just has the smarts
Let Waldron run the offense. He's got the experience. He's had success.
And let Eberflus run the defense.
That's all you have to do.
Yep.
Stay in your lane, bro. Stay in your lane.
All you got to do, 9-8. We get 9-8 this year. I think
In
most
the
Bears
first year
fans
with the rookie
would be
quarterback,
ecstatic.
holy crap.
Most Bears fans would. I'm hearing people saying playoffs. I'll take 9-8. Just show me progression. Show me he's learning how to be an NFL quarterback. He's got DJ Moore. He has got Oduze for the future.
He's got,
like you said, if
DJ
they bring
Moore and Keenan Allen to help set the table.
right, Keenan's a one-year
Odunze
deal,
is going to learn from these two stud receivers.
Yep. And I heard Cole Kmet the other night. They asked him about how are you going to fit in this offense, and he said, "I don't care if I catch 2 passes or 12 passes a game, as long as we win." That's the guy.
That's the guy
we
you want.
That's the kind of team thinking you want. Speaking of team thinking, I have never watched the Manning cast on ESPN Monday Night Football with Peyton and Eli.
Yeah, I haven't either.
But now I guess we're getting Bill Belichick every week. Bill Belichick will appear every week
with the Mannings
in the first quarter, it looks like. He will make his special appearance in the first quarter every week.
That doesn't entice me.
The thing is, he is actually very insightful and smart when you get him away from the sidelines. He could actually end up doing a very good job with
this.
He might be
all right.
Now, am I going to watch it? No, I'm not. Sorry, I'm not. And finally, the Buccaneers.
You know why we're not going to, kids? We don't have to be entertained by the commentary.
We want to watch the goddamn game.
We want to watch the game and see for ourselves what is going on and be able to comment what idiots the commentators are.
Yeah, what the moron Kelsey, Jason Kelsey. I'm so torqued to be on Monday Night fucking Football.
Really?
Yeah, why don't you dive back into that kiddie pool of chili and find your goddamn NFC Championship ring, you bitch? God, he is an insult to all white people. He's just an idiot. He's the reason why black people look at white people and go, they ain't that smart. They ain't that smart. Seriously, act like you have a brain, Jason.
Concussions. That's got to be the only explanation.
All right, let's roll through this real quick because I don't want to keep you till 10 tomorrow morning. We got to get you out of here at some point. So basketball playoffs, Boston 3-1 over the Cavaliers right now. Of course, Cavaliers are playing pussy basketball right now.
The Celtics won it.
Yeah, because the Cavaliers, they're talking about running Mitchell out of town after I can't play. I'm not good enough to play. I'm hurt.
Yeah, there's no excuse to not play hurt in the playoffs, for the love of God and all that's holy.
Yeah, and that's all I heard running into this series was that if Mitchell did not show up, he had one great game. The one game the Cavaliers won. And then he goes, oh, I can't play anymore.
Yeah,
of course,
bunch of freaking pansies.
LeBron was at game 4. So does that mean he's coming back again?
Who gives a shit?
But yeah, the Cavaliers got one good game out of this whole series. And then otherwise they shit the bed and embarrass themselves.
Yeah, just bad.
So Boston moves on to the East Finals. Who will they play? The Knicks are right now 3-2 over the Pacers. going to Indianapolis. I could see this going 7.
It's going to go
But
7.
I think the Knicks win this. The Pacers have just, and I am so disappointed in Halliburton. Halliburton is playing like a pussy right now.
He had one good game this series where he showed up to dominate.
Yeah.
If he would actually exert himself like he did in that one game, it would have been a sweep for Indiana.
Yeah.
But
he
is
showing,
useless.
Yep. Like Mitchell with the Cavs, Halliburton with the Pacers, showing this is when the big boys step up. This is when the big boys. Let's ask Nikola Jokic.
Harden.
Yeah. They're acting like James Harden. Yeah. Let's ask Nikola Jokic, by the way.
Your 3-time MVP?
Who went down 0-2 on the road to the Timberwolves. And then all of a sudden goes, I guess I better start playing again.
He put the team on his back and has them ready to advance.
They lose the first 2 at home. He goes on the road in Minnesota. Boom, boom, comes back home. Boom. All of a sudden, the Nuggets are up 3-2. They look like the defending NBA champions again.
Yep, they got knocked down, but they got up again.
I get knocked down, but I get up again. What was that, tub thumping?
Yes. You get your whiskey drink?
Chumbawamba.
You get your vodka drink.
Chumbawamba.
Yes.
And then, of course, we've got a 2-2 tie going into the game later tonight with the OKC Thunder and the Dallas Mavericks.
Yep, they got their 2-2s on for this one.
The Suns, after 1 year, fire head coach Frank Vogel. Then they bring in Mike Budenholzer on a 5-year, $50 million deal. You want to talk about a league that recycles coaches?
Oh my God, the NBA is worse than the NFL.
Yeah. Yeah, you just bring in the same guys over and over and over again.
Oh, the NHL is almost as bad too.
Yep. Now, in one case, though, new Hornets head coach is Celtics assistant Charles Lee. So
that could be interesting. Somebody new.
Yep. Coming from a very, very solid winning franchise. Should we talk about women's basketball, Dave?
Briefly mention it.
Of course, the WNBA season. We don't normally talk about the WNBA, but Caitlin Clark, of course, made her debut last night with the Indiana Fever. Didn't go all that well.
It was rough. 20 points, 10 turnovers, and a blowout loss.
Yep. But of course, you've got people, and we'll talk more about this in a
few
minutes. But where
was the rest of the team to pick her up? Blah, 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 blah.
Well, and here's the thing. Number one, the Indiana Fever, let's start talking about the coach. She's got the last 2 number 1 picks in the draft.
And can't do anything with them.
Right. So maybe we start looking at the coach. Maybe it's
looking at the coach on this
Maybe we start looking at the coach. Because if you've got the last 2 number 1 picks in the draft, you should be a little bit better than this.
You should be a lot better than this.
Then, of course, we've got the whole racism accusations because the WNBA, well, why are we making them fly commercial? They should be able to fly charter. And they couldn't figure that out in time. So, of course.
How about because they're not bringing in enough damn money?
Well, now they will because of Caitlin Clark. But because Caitlin Clark and the Indiana Fever were one of the few teams that were actually able to fly charter, everybody's going, oh, look, Caitlin Clark gets to fly the charter, but the rest of us can't. Racism.
Bullshit. It's, how about your team is so damn stupid that they're not going to? They're penny-pinching little fucktards.
Now, Caitlin Clark's former coach Lisa Bluter got out while the getting was good. She said, okay, arguably best player in women's college basketball history, gone. I think I'm going to retire.
Oh, wow,
Yeah.
look, it's time to head out.
So she retires as Iowa women's coach. And then, Wisconsin Green Bay. Okay.
Well, there's two negatives right there.
Wisconsin Green Bay hires Doug Gottlieb as their head coach and will allow him, this is the kicker, will allow him to continue to do his weekly Fox Sports radio show while he's coaching Wisconsin Green Bay. You want to tell me that's not just a blatant way to get headlines?
Oh my God, that's pathetic.
And he is not one of my favorite people.
No, he's a doofus.
All right, hockey. Do I really care about hockey?
No, we don't.
I don't. I really don't.
Sorry. Hockey, you have to have your team involved for it to really make a difference.
I guess the one big headline we need to discuss is with the Colorado Avalanche. They're down 3-1 as we tape here on May the 15th to the Dallas Stars. One of their top players, Valerie Nichushkin, suspended again for failing a drug test.
This guy needs to go away.
Now out 6 months.
Yeah, he's a dumbass. No, the Avalanche are a team that's had their full window slammed shut this year. They should have been primed for a major consistent run. And for Dallas now coming up, getting ready to knock them out in a dominant fashion, there you go.
2 more quick things with the NBA, and then we move on. I've got some golf and some badasses. We talked about this last week, so we did get a little bit of vindication. Milwaukee's Patrick Beverley. Remember him? Throwing the basketball.
Oh,
at the
yes,
fans,
that dipshit.
and then not taking questions.
No, yeah.
Because
no
you
apology.
didn't subscribe to my podcast.
Yeah, that Nimrod.
He has been suspended by the NBA 4 games without pay, and the Indianapolis police are investigating. Now, do I think anything's coming of this? No.
Not. It's ridiculous.
And then the Atlanta Hawks, with a 3% chance, won the NBA lottery. So the Atlanta Hawks will get the first pick in the draft this year. And the Detroit Pistons get screwed again.
Again, the worst record.
And they dropped
to fifth again.
All right, golf. We have the PGA Championship this weekend. Looking forward to that, since we don't have a NASCAR race.
Right.
Just stop! God help me, Tiger Woods, don't make the cut, so I can enjoy the weekend.
Please, for the love of all that's holy.
And of course, the bad news is Rory McIlroy is coming in on a hot streak. Last weekend, he won his 4th Wells Fargo Championship. But again, will he be able to actually show up at a major?
That's the question.
I believe, Dave, don't quote me on this, but I believe it's been 10 years, almost to the weekend, since he won his last major. He likes Valhalla, where they're playing the PGA Championship. And unfortunately, we, again, doing our due diligence with women's sports, Nelly Korda could not pull it off. Nelly Korda, her win streak ends. She could not win the outright record for the win streak on the LPGA Tour, as she finished tied for 7th this past weekend at the Founders Cup.
That's a shame. But
we were rooting for her.
But again, it's one of those, you're competing week in, week out, week in, week out. It's going to take a toll.
Yep. All right, my two badasses of the week, the Clint Eastwood badasses of the week. Number one, let's stay here in the great state of Indiana. Talk some baseball. Indiana Southeast. My kudos to them, as they scored 12 runs with 2 outs in the 9th inning to beat Indiana Tech. Final score 14-11.
Wow.
But how about that? 12 runs
12
with 2
runs
outs
with 2 outs is pretty damn impressive.
in the 9th.
That's
Yes.
clutch.
Yep. And then I'm not a big fan of the Washington Commanders, Redskins, whatever you want to call them, but I have to give Dan Quinn some credit.
Having the balls to put the feathers on the W.
Yep. Dan Quinn wore one of the most badass shirts you will ever see. Even though it had the new name, the Washington Commanders, on it, as Dave said, had the 2 feathers
coming off the W.
Yep. Giving a little homage to the old school, politically incorrect name that we all know and love
as the Redskins.
Yep,
and it was definitely an unsanctioned shirt by the NFL.
Oh, absolutely. But I loved it. And I'll tell you what, if that's out there for people to buy, I guarantee
it's going to be a bestseller.
Yep. Because I hate to say it, kids, we want the Redskins, we want the Indians. We're tired of this PC bullshit. As you can tell,
that's
week
what
in,
we're
week
based
out,
upon.
what we do. All right, moments of silence. Most successful general manager in Chargers history. He was the one that drafted Eli Manning and flipped him for one Phillip Rivers.
Yep, and that was a trade that got them a couple of extra stud players. I believe Sean Merriman being the top one there.
And kicker Nate Kading, I believe, was the other one.
Yep. Thoughts and prayers to the family of A.J. Smith.
Yep.
And then we have 49ers Hall of Fame cornerback, Jimmy Johnson.
And much too young, son of American League MVP Jeff Burrows, top-level draft pick, Olympic gold medalist, 2-time Little League World Series champion, Sean Burrows, passed away at 43.
Too young.
Way, way, way too damn young. All right, Dave, so now that we're done with moments of silence, what do we have to do, Mr. Geller?
It's time to pivot. Pivot. Pivot.
We're doing this a little differently, as you kids know, over the last 3 or 4 weeks. We used to do dumbass or not.
But alas, that we're getting back to what it started as.
Yep, when we had a full panel doing this on cable access.
We talked about the Red Foreman Dumbass of the Week.
Now, we used to let everybody pick their own.
Right. Now, we have multiple contestants vying.
6 this week.
6 this week vying for the title Dumbass of the Week in the running for Dumbass of the Year.
Yep. Now, of course, this is all in honor of the great Red Foreman. And if you have not watched the latest trailer for that 90s show,
shame on you.
Foot, would you like to take a trip? Why, yes, Fred. Would it be up somebody's ass?
Why, yes, it would.
Of course.
Oh, Kirkwood Smith as Red Foreman is brilliant in that 90s show, that 70s show.
Yep.
Oh,
The greatest. He is absolutely the greatest.
he is one of the best TV dads of all time.
And check out the weekend edition. We'll give you more details on when you will be able to watch that 90s show, season 2, part 2 and 3. That's how they're doing it now, I guess.
Yeah. Oh, it's not season 2, but it's that 90s show part 2.
Yeah.
What? Shut up. Just stop.
All right, first up, why don't we start high? Well, again, that 90s show. And the guest stars,
The guest stars are
definitely
awesome.
would fit with that description.
Snoochie Boochies.
Starting high. We are starting high. No. Let's start with the President of the United States of America. He tried to do something nice, even though I still don't like how these sports teams pick and choose which president they're going to go to see and which ones are not.
Dumb.
But the WNBA champion, Las Vegas Aces, came to the White House here recently to, I guess, have a conversation, talk to the president. But of course, Joe Biden, being the idiot that he is, I'm sorry.
The senile, borderline dementia idiot.
As he talks about the Las Vegas Aces, he talks about Candace Parker, who is a WNBA legend and who played part of the season for the Las Vegas Aces. But we actually talked about this 2 weeks ago here on Sports Frenzy. She just retired as a player.
Yes.
Literally 2 weeks ago. And our commander-in-chief, as he's talking about honoring the Las Vegas Aces, talks about Candace Parker, and he talks about how she's going to go down as one of the all-time greatest WNBA coaches ever.
Oh!
Even though Candace Parker has never coached a
Anything.
game in her life.
Oh.
Can't wait for those debates. Can't wait for those debates. Oh, by the way, do you know he has requested no audience?
Of course he did.
What's next? I need to have notes.
The
first time ever a president in a debate has to have notes.
And he's going to have the little earpiece.
Oh, God, yeah.
So people will tell him what to say.
Yeah.
But, President Biden always goes off script. He can't help himself.
Did I tell you the story about my uncle who got eaten by cannibals?
Oh, wait. Hold on. I got to sniff this woman's hair.
No, but there's no audience. He's got no one to sniff. He's got no one.
He's going to walk down and sniff the hair of the correspondents who are asking the questions. And he wants the network news to run the debates instead of this nonpartisan group.
Yep.
For the first time ever.
Yeah, now I heard today that they finally agreed that they'll have a third debate that Fox News. But the first two, are going to be so biased. The first one's on CNN and the second one's ABC. Come on. You're going to have George Snuffleupagus doing the second one for ABC?
Yeah.
All right, sticking with the WNBA.
Wait, is Psaki going to do one of them?
Oh, God. I don't know who's worse, her or Corey Jean-Pierre.
Have another drink. We'll be fine.
Yeah. Let's stick with the WNBA. Now, of course, we alluded to earlier the fact that Caitlin Clark's getting abuse for being the most popular women's basketball player of all time because she's white. Asia Wilson, who happens to be one of those Las Vegas Aces players, specifically came out and said, of course, it's all about Caitlin Clark because it's, quote, all about black and white, unquote.
No, it's not, for the love of God and all that's holy.
Can we just stop with the racism? Yes, black
Please.
people can be racist. Everybody can be racist. If you look down on somebody because of their color or lack of color in their skin, you're a racist. And I don't want to hear black people go, well, we can't be racist. Yes, you can. Everybody can. And I think Asia Wilson just proved that.
Hear, hear.
Why don't you just accept the fact that Caitlin Clark is doing something that's going to benefit everybody, black,
She is
white.
benefiting the WNBA, period.
Now, Dave, maybe I'm overreacting to this one, but I find this a little offensive that the NHL dragging their feet a little bit, saying that they cannot get anything set in place for the new Utah franchise. No name, no mascot for next year. So it's going to take them at least till 2025.
Oh, bullshit.
So the new
bullshit.
the new team
There
will
are
only
already
be known as
options
Utah.
out there
But
for the fans to vote on.
But it's going to take them too long.
No, it's
Dave.
not going to take too fucking long. You put a time period on it, you make the damn decision, and you move on.
Nope.
It didn't take Seattle that long. What the fuck is wrong with Utah?
Nope.
Oh, wait.
Next.
Sorry. The NHL was running the Coyotes and selling to the new Utah team. So, of course, they're going to fuck everything up.
Yeah, so next year, the 24-25
So
season.
screw the NHL.
They'll just be Utah. They're just going to have generic Utah outfits. Because it takes too long,
No,
Dave.
it does not take that.
It takes too long.
It does not take that damn long.
I agree with you. But next year, you just get Utah. A generic Utah team for a year. Until they finally settle in on the name. Like you said.
No, it does not take that damn long. You make a fucking decision and stick with it.
I'm with you. Seattle, I know Seattle had a little more lead time, but still.
It can be done.
You can't tell me Nike or Champion or Fanatics isn't chomping at the bit to just generate new jerseys in the next 2 months. You have got until what, September?
Yeah, you have plenty of time to do this.
Nope, not until 2025.
Idiots.
So they're just going to be Utah.
Idiots.
They're just going to be Utah.
Idiots.
Utah.
Way to go, Bettman, you moron.
All right, now I think secretly you and I are rooting for the Pacers to beat the Knicks. We're in Indiana.
Yeah.
We're in Indiana.
The hell with New York.
But you got to admit, I think we have to admit that Rick Carlisle
is kind of a little pansy ass bitch.
Yeah, the first 2 games. Now we know it's now 3-2. The Knicks are on top, but the Pacers lost those first 2 games in New York
because Halliburton didn't show up.
No. It's because bad calls. Bad officiating.
There were some bad calls, but Halliburton didn't show up. Period. End of conversation.
Dave, the Pacers submitted 78 calls.
We talked about that last week.
To the NBA. 78 calls.
Yeah. Rick, I used to have some respect for you. You dropped down a whole lot with this pansy-ass little attitude you've had. Suck it up. Get your team prepared. Kick your fucking star player in the balls to show up.
I agree. Halliburton has been the problem. If that guy wants to be a top-level NBA star player, he needs to prove it.
And he has not.
Nope.
Trade his sorry ass or some draft picks and move on.
This one hurts me. Because she's pretty. She's really pretty. But I think Haley Deegan went too far. Haley Deegan, this past weekend at Darlington, her throwback car honoring Dale Sr., Dale Earnhardt Sr., but it pissed fans off because she chose the old Wrangler Ford.
Why in God's name would you do that?
Now, he did run that very briefly, a year or two.
2 years he
Yeah.
drove Ford, and he was the worst 2 seasons he had.
Yep. But Haley Deegan decided that would be her Darlington throwback.
Not cool, Haley. Not cool.
I think you got to pose naked to make it up to us. That's all I'm saying. Maybe a little boob.
DM Sports Frenzy.
little boob shot. That's okay. We know you're getting married. Get it done before you actually put the ring on. So, you're not really cheating. But yeah.
He's got a sweet pineapple shirt, by the way.
Will I ever be able to live this down?
No.
Finally. Last week, we stuck up for Stephen A. Smith.
We did.
And we thought he was unjustly called out by Jonathan Papelbon for being racist. And we thought it was bullshit. Complete and total. I am going to actually put out there defending, God help me, LeBron James.
Hold on. I gotta check. Are you running a fever? No, you're good.
The New Hartford Festival of the Arts.
Hartford, Connecticut?
Yep. No, New York.
New York. Okay.
No, New Hartford in New York. The Festival of the Arts allowed a junior high school student to, and I don't like to censor myself on the show. I'll say fuck this, fuck that, fuck him, fuck her. But there are some things I will not talk about. There are some things, the
there
lines
are some
I'm
words
not
that
crossing.
cannot be crossed.
I cannot believe this New Hartford Festival of the Arts allowed this junior high school student's artwork to be displayed. It's basically a kind of like a parody of a Wheaties box featuring LeBron James. And I will say this, as much as I do not like LeBron James, I cannot believe the idiots that let this slide through checks and balances, because let's just put it this way. It involves multiple uses of the word monkey.
Oh, come on!
Yeah.
That is inexcusable.
Outside of that, I am not going into it in any more detail.
That is bullshit.
How did this actually pass muster?
There is no. There is no.
Beyond that, if you want to go look it up, but it's just so offensive and vile.
I don't care if you want to tout it as artwork. You do not do that shit, period. End of conversation.
And it does not matter if we're talking about somebody we don't like with LeBron James. We will stick up in this instance for LeBron James and say,
you cannot have that.
This is vile and despicable. And again, I don't want to get into detail about what it actually says, but trust me, it is just so disgusting. I cannot believe people let this. Who looked at this and went, "That's legitimate. That's a good piece of artwork," without saying, "No, this is racist. Get this out of here and never let me see this again."
Boom. That's the dumbass of the week, right fucking there.
Yeah, I gotta go with you on that too.
The vileness of it all.
Yeah.
Ugh.
And it's just.
That's just no.
If you guys want to look it up, it's up to you. But I don't want to give any more attention to this than we have to, other than the fact that we need to call these people out for being absolute vile and nasty racists.
Oh, that's just despicable.
All right, the weekend edition. Dave and I will discuss the brand new album from Sebastian Bach, Child Within the Man. We'll also again talk about the Dead Boy Detectives, getting ready for our season 1 wrap up next week.
I have Toxic Prey, the new John Sanford book, for review for you.
And we both will review the tragic, unbelievable, real life tale of the Von Erich wrestling family in The Iron Claw. So, all that, your Saturday morning hangover cure. He's your Uncle Dave.
He's your Uncle Kev.
Check out the weekend edition. And if it's not your cup of tea, I don't know why it wouldn't be. But if it's not, we will be back here in 7 days with more sports talk. We'll break down the NFL schedule. We'll look at the Bears and see how we think they're going to end up. We'll break it down game by game. Win, loss, win, loss. We'll do that all for you next week, kids.
It's all there.
Until then, say goodnight to the kids, Dave.
Good night to the kids, Dave.